Hi guys, welcome to the full in-depth comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A73 and the Galaxy A72. Now this first of all is a 4K at 30 frames per second front camera video, and I am walking in a park as usual to give you an idea about the stabilization. So like all of my previous comparisons, you guys have to judge these front camera samples. You have to tell me how are you finding the stability, which phones stability looks better to you, and which phones color composition, saturation, contrast, and which phone's audio recording quality sounds better to you. So after this, I'm going to show you the front camera 1080p at 60 frames per second from both these phones, and this is going to be a very long video. Make sure that you watch it until the end and subscribe to my channel as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the front camera 1080p at 60 frames per second video now. Okay, this one is now 1080p at 60 frames per second from the front cameras of both these phones. I can't judge these videos on my own on these small screens, which is why I have to rely on your feedback. And once again, you guys have to tell me how's the voice recording quality, because the voice recording quality changes with the changing resolution on these phones. Also, the stability will get a little hurt this time because it's the 60 frames per second mode. And once again, make sure that you subscribe and like this video and drop your feedback in the comment section down below, and make sure to watch this in-depth comparison between A73 and A72 until the end. Let's first get the camera hardware details out of the way. A73 brings a 108 megapixels HM6 Samsung sensor, and its other camera details are on your screen. A72 brings a 64 megapixel Samsung GW1 sensor, and I have mentioned all of its details on the screen too. A72 has this advantage of a telephoto lens. The camera apps on both the phones are same. A73 brings you a 108 megapixels resolution mode, and the A72 brings a 64 megapixels mode. Because of the telephoto lens on the A72, you get up to 3x optical zoom and 30x digital zoom. A73 is limited to 10x digital zoom only. The remaining options and features on both the phones are the same. Let's take a look at the rear camera video samples now. The ultra-wide 1080p at 30 frames per second video looks very good on both the phones. Both phones have nice color composition and stability is very good. The stability is good in the 1080p at 30 frames per second normal mode video too. This time the A72's colors look a bit warm. The rear camera 60 frames per second video looks horrible on the A73. It's not very good on the A72, but I am finding the stability of the A72 better. Furthermore, A72's 60 fps footage looks bright. It's just not as dull. The 4K at 30 frames per second ultra-wide video is on your screen now, and I was hoping for a stability fix on the Galaxy A72 in the One UI 4.1 update, but its stability is still crippled as it was back in the day. The A73 has a better stabilization in this particular mode. The difference of the colors is on your screen. Here's a normal 4K at 30 frames per second video, and once again, the stabilization of the Galaxy A73 is better. Samsung should fix the stabilization of the Galaxy A72 in the 4K mode. It has fixed the stabilization of the A52 as 5G, and I think the A72 deserves the same treatment as well. Let's take a look at the ultra-wide images first. Okay, pretty decent image on both the sides, slightly warm look on the A73 and a bit cool or rather dull look on the A72. Details seem good on both the phones, shadows appear darker on the A72. Dynamic range I think is also better on the Galaxy A72. A normal image A73 takes normal images in 12 megapixels and A72 takes normal images in 16 megapixels. Image of the Galaxy A72 has high exposure and my shirt's color on it looks bright. Details are equally good on both the phones and shadows this time appear dark on the Galaxy A73. Saturation is also high on the A73. I am leaning towards the Galaxy A73 here. A high resolution 108 megapixels versus 64 megapixels image. Sky is whitewashed on the Galaxy A73 and I hate it. A73 has added depth in the remaining colors. As you can see, my shirt's color appears very dark along with the dark shadows in the image. A72 might not give you that depth in the colors, but it's keeping a little bit of the sky visible. A73's 108 megapixel images definitely have higher details than the Galaxy A72 here. Here is a portrait mode image and I am in love with the A73's image here because of two reasons. First, the image has got very nice saturation and then the colors on it look vibrant. A72 has captured a nice image too. In fact, details are high on the A72 and skin tone on the A72 is not too soft like the A73. Let me show you another set of ultra-wide, normal and the high-res images. Okay, in the ultra-wide mode, now the A73 has a warm look again compared to the very cool look of the A72. Sky looks better on the A72. Shadows are too dark on the A72 again. The image looks really good on both the sides. It's just the difference of the color tone, I guess. Same image in the normal mode from both the phones, and I think because of high saturation, the A73's image looks better again. Highlights are brighter on the A72, but nonetheless, once again, both phones have done a good job here. Details are equally good on both sides. The same image in the high-res mode, A73 struggles in the high-resolution mode, but I think because this image has too high resolution, it gives you more room for post-processing. But if you want good high-resolution pictures straight out of the camera, the A72 will serve the purpose better, but it won't have the same amount of details. Here is a 3x zoom-in picture. The telephoto camera of the Galaxy A72 has a clear advantage over the digital zoom of the Galaxy A73. Here is a 10x zoom image from both sides, and I think removing telephoto camera from the Galaxy A73 was not a right move. The telephoto lens of the A72 will keep outperforming the digital zoom of the Galaxy A73. Here is a 30x zoom image from the A72 and I have cropped into a 108 megapixels image of the Galaxy A73. You can see that the high resolution 108 megapixels camera cannot fulfill the purpose of a dedicated telephoto camera. The cropping in capability cannot replace the optical zoom. Here's a cropped in 108 megapixels versus 3x image now, and this one is now a cropped in 108 megapixels versus 10x zoom. I'll miss the telephoto on the Galaxy A73. Let's take a look at another set of images. The differences are the same once again that I just explained. I have just taken these images from different angles so that you can get an idea of the result according to different light conditions. The normal image is on your screen and there's a clear difference of the color tone in these images too. And now this is a high resolution image on the screen. 108 megapixels camera won't let the 64 megapixels camera win when it comes to the details. Now I'll once again show you a 3x zoom image from both the phones, and I have no idea why Samsung removed the telephoto camera from the A73. I guess it was just a cost-cutting measure. Once again, this is a 10x zoom image from both the phones, and here is a 30x zoom image from the A72, and once again I'll crop into a 108 megapixel image of the A73 and show you it against A72's telephoto camera images. Clearly, the A72 is the winner, and this might be the only good thing about the Galaxy A72 because the A73 outperforms it in almost all other aspects. I'll show you some more images that you can analyze yourself. These images include some indoor, ultra-wide, normal and high resolution samples, and then some broad daylight samples followed by some indoor samples once again. I think all these images in different lighting conditions are more than enough to get a clear idea about the cameras of these handsets. Watch these images with all your attention and I'll catch you with the selfies shortly. First of all, here is a 32 megapixels selfie from both the phones. A72's selfie has a slightly pale or yellowish look. I really like the color tone of the Galaxy A73's front camera in this high resolution mode. Details are equally good on both these cameras. Here is the normal wide selfie, and now the A72's image gets better than its high resolution image. But A73's image once again has got a better color tone in my opinion. Selfies look really good from both the phones, so you guys can pick the winner for yourself according to your own liking and choice. The result is not too different. You will only find the saturation a bit high on the A73 and A72 selfies will look more exposed. Especially the background has some highlights blown off. My face looks whitish on it. I think the edge detection is more neat on the Galaxy A73, but I would love to hear you guys about all these selfies. You will also see some indoor selfies taken in the artificial light, starting off with the high resolution selfie again, and then some normal and portrait mode images. Make sure to drop your feedback about these indoor selfies as well. Let's take a look at the low light and night mode images. A73's images will have a warm look with that more yellowish shade all over. The tone on the A72 is more like neutral here. I think the A73 is adding more light to its images, as you can see some of the elements better in its images. The A72 has got some of the elements too dark. At some instances, the A72's images come out noise-free, while the A73 ends up adding more sharpness to its images, which looks a bit noisy. But if you have to bring in more light into your night mode images or want a camera with better overall low light performance, it has to be the Galaxy A73 because its larger camera sensor performs better in all such low light conditions. The camera comparison ends here. A72's telephoto camera will always give it an edge over the Galaxy A73. If you are someone who doesn't rely a lot on the telephoto camera, I'll suggest you to get the Galaxy A73 because it outperforms the Galaxy A72 in all other camera modes. The normal camera mode and the portrait mode of the Galaxy A73 are definitely way better than the Galaxy A72, and the videos from the A73 also looked better. The only con of the Galaxy A73 is that it misses that telephoto camera. The A72 still takes nice photos, and even if it has that telephoto lens, it doesn't let you take telephoto portraits or the 3x stable videos. so I'm not sure about the practical usage of the telephoto lens on it. A little reminder here, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, do subscribe and turn on the bell icon. Also like this video, the like target is just 5,000 likes. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I do respond to all the inbox messages on my social media platforms. Let's talk about the design and the build. Compared to the bulky and thick Galaxy A72, the A73 is slim and has got a flat frame which makes its grip very good. A72's rounded frame now feels old school. There is a very minute design change around the camera hump of the A73. Otherwise, these phones look the same. Samsung has used plastic on both. The frame is of plastic too. Both phones are IP67 rated. A72 has a headphone jack, which some will find a great deal. Both phones offer a micro SD card slot. You can find dual stereo speakers on both the sides. The speaker output is also the same. One is not louder than the other. Both phones rock a 6.7 inches Super AMOLED screen which is protected by Gorilla Glass 5. Although both screens have a brightness of about 800 nits, but the A73 still looks brighter than the Galaxy A72 at times. Once you look at these phones from the front side by side, you immediately start liking the A73's display, and the reasons for that include slimmer bezels, better screen to body ratio, and that small bottom chin. The punch hole of the A73 is big, but those slim bezels make up for it. After looking at the front profile of the A73, I am not that much in love with the front of the Galaxy A72. Furthermore, the A73's display brings a 120Hz refresh rate compared to the 90Hz refresh rate of the Galaxy A72. Problem with the 120Hz is that once you have used it, you can never go back and use 90Hz refresh rate, no matter how minute the difference is. Everything seems more fluid and smoother on the screen of the Galaxy A73. Both these displays support HDR playback, so you won't compromise on specific elements like the dark and the bright areas while consuming media on these. Super AMOLED displays always have very nice colors, saturation, sharpness, and overall viewing experience is superb. These screens perform up to the expectations under the broad daylight as well. Underneath the screens, you get optical readers on both sides, which work equally well. Haptic feedback, like I've been saying in all of my recent videos, it's poor on both sides. It's about time Samsung starts using better haptic feedback engines on the newer Galaxy A smartphones. The software and UI as of now on both the phones is the same. I just recently upgraded my Galaxy A72 to the One UI 4.1 to see if it gets all the features that Samsung has added to the Galaxy A73. Unfortunately, the Galaxy A72 still doesn't have the remaster image option in the gallery, and it doesn't have the object eraser in the photo editor either. And I don't think that Samsung will ever bring these features to the Galaxy A72. The other software experience on these devices is the same. You get same features on both sides. Another difference to keep in mind is that the Galaxy A73 qualifies for 4 years of Android and 5 years of security updates compared to the 3-year update lifecycle of the Galaxy A72. So clearly the A73 is a winner here. Let's talk about the performance now. The Snapdragon 778G chipset of the Galaxy A73 heavily outperforms the Galaxy A72. Because of a better chipset on the A73, all the processes execute faster. First of all, I'll show you the storage benchmark score, and you can see that despite having same RAM and storage standards, the Galaxy A73 is just far ahead. And now the AnTuTu performance score is on your screen. The A73 is miles ahead of the Galaxy A73 here as well. Same goes for the Geekbench 5 scores too. The A72 doesn't even come close to the Galaxy A73. And lastly, I have the 3D Mark Gaming benchmark score. You can see that some of the Galaxy A72 scores are about half the scores of the Galaxy A73. This is a marginal performance difference. You will notice this in your day-to-day usage as well. Furthermore, you cannot game in 60 frames per second on the Galaxy A72, while the Galaxy A73 will run almost all of the supported and compatible games in the 60 frames per second because it's got a better chipset. I did conduct a small speed test between these phones in which I first launched some stock applications, starting with the phone app first of all. And then I launched the settings app. The scrolling experience on the Galaxy A72 clearly isn't that smooth and things seem slow on this phone. To make some sense out of this test, I edited some video clips first in the Premiere Rush application. I applied the same color effects to both the clips and exported it into a 1080p clip. Both phones started off together, but the Galaxy A73 took the lead and maintained it until the end. A72's performance wasn't that bad here, but it still lost it in the end. I did the same in the Viva video application. I applied a couple of effects to the same clip on both the phones and exported it into a 720p clip this time. The Galaxy A73 was ahead again and finished the process within a few seconds while the Galaxy A72 lagged. I also edited some photos starting with the Adobe Lightroom application. This is the same 108 megapixels photo that I copied to both the devices for this test. I applied same auto-tune effects on both the phones and exported the image. As expected, the Galaxy A72 lost this one too. And in the end, I edited the same photo in the Snapseed application. The Galaxy A73 was ahead again, and this isn't gonna change. The A72 will always lose because it's just not that powerful anymore. The RAM management on both phones is the same. They launch apps from the same spot and do not kill the apps. Let's talk about the battery now. Both phones come with a big 5000 mAh battery and both support 25-watt charger. In my limited testing so far, both phones have done great and the battery easily lasts for over a day. I have conducted multiple Galaxy A72 battery drain tests on my channel, so you guys can check those for this phone, and a full battery drain test of the Galaxy A73 will be uploaded on the channel in next 2 days. Make sure you guys subscribe and stay tuned to not to miss that. Keep in mind that the Galaxy A72 brings a 25-watt charger out of the box, while as a cost-cutting measure, Samsung has removed the Galaxy A73's charger. Although Samsung says that it's done for the environmental changes, but I just don't believe that. And with this, we reach the conclusion. Samsung has made massive improvements in the Galaxy A73 while cutting some corners, such as the lack of the telephoto lens, the headphone jack, and the removal of charger from the box. If we do not factor in these removals, the Galaxy A73 proves itself in the performance department, display, and also the camera. Since this is a new phone, its price is quite high at this moment. Galaxy A72, well, honestly, when I used the Galaxy A72 after using the Galaxy A73, it felt quite old. One of the main reasons for that was a 90Hz display and the phone did not feel as good. Cameras of the Galaxy A72 are still acceptable and it will remain a favorite for many because of that telephoto lens. Furthermore, the Galaxy A73 is a 5G powered device while the Galaxy A72 is just a 4G phone. 5G might not be mainstream yet, but it's good to have a phone that's capable of running on all the networks. So for that reason, the Galaxy A73 also takes the lead here. If I have to pick a new premium mid-range phone today, I'll pick up the Galaxy A73. You guys may disagree with me and drop your own feedback regarding this comparison in the comments below. I would definitely love to hear you out. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet and like this video too. I will sign off and see you all in the next one.